Hey everybody, it's Coury, and today I am joined by my friend Matt, who is one of the most important people to the making of My Life in Gaming, even though he's never appeared in an episode. But in fact,
I wouldn't say most important. I wouldn't
say that you're the most important, but you're one of the most important. That's because Matt.
Take it.
That's because Matt is the composer of Principle, which is the theme song for My Life in Gaming.
Mm-hmm. Which was inspired completely by My Life in Gaming.
Was it really?
No.
You actually had it written before.
Yeah. No.
And I came to you.
Mm-hmm.
Matt and I have known each other for a very long time. I grew up with his brother,
Mm-hmm.
and like Matt and I have known each other for, I want to say, when did you guys move here?
Oh, 95.
So yeah, so over 20 years at this point.
Yeah, long time.
And I knew that you were in a band called Early Attic, based out of.
It's no more though. It's no more, but
You're based out of Buffalo, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed your the stuff that you did with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I came to you and said, "Do you have any music?" And you came to me with this song.
Yeah.
And I immediately knew that it was
Mm-hmm.
what. I showed it to Try, and he was like, "Oh my God! This is the song." And we to this day we get 2 or 3 comments on it a week asking him where it is and where people can get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for the kind words. But the thing is I was about to just hang up the whole music thing in general, but because I quit my band, Early Attic, and we kind of quit because I was in college and I got a family to feed, and you can't feed a family as an original musician hardly anymore. But I was tweaking with this little guy, and it's super cheap. It's a little Korg Volca. And that's where Principle came from. And I still do a lot of stuff online, and I do a lot of instrumentals here and there. But this was a couple years ago, and I couldn't hang it up. So I started making my own songs on the computer and things like that, and it just turned into a pretty cool little song. So I'm glad he got to use it, and I think that's pretty awesome.
I mean, we've been opening and ending our song or our episodes with the song,
Mm-hmm.
every single episode since I think the first time we used it was in the Klonoa episode, which was almost 2 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And so what, when you were writing it, was there any specific, did it just come out?
It just came out. It was like a little arpeggiator, and I was messing with it, and it just sounded pretty cool. And I love analog synths, and for people out there that don't know the difference between digital and analog, a lot of computer game music, you might know this more with 8-bit, 8-bit sounds. That's more digital. There's a lot of that more digital.
Mm-hmm.
Well, analog is kind of I don't know if any of you guys out there are familiar with Daft Punk. They just released that Tron soundtrack. Okay, that's pure analog, and you'll hear the digital grittiness of it and things like that.
A lot of people say that's the Principle reminds them of something that would have been in Tron Legacy.
Yeah, exactly, and that's all because of it's analog. There's analog synths and then there's digital synths, and that analog sound came out of the 80s, but it wasn't. They had a lot of fault and flaws in it, so a lot of the old 80s analog synths would shut down. So then they started doing digital, but everything that they try to make better, a lot of times the older things sound better, kind of like records, for instance. But analog synths back in the 80s had this distinct sound, so they're starting to bring out analog synths out again. That's why I was just tweaking with that little guy there, and it just sounded really cool, I mean, it's just kind of came out, and then I built it from there, Principle, the song from there, added the drums. So it starts with that thing in the beginning, and then I just kind of built it from there,
And the version that's featured in our show is actually different than the version that you have released.
Yeah, there are some parts that are different. I mean, it's pretty much the same. There's a lot of the same instruments are the same, in a lot of the tracks, but I've layered over new synths that I did afterwards, because with school and everything, and I just didn't have the time to hurry up and make it, so I sat on it for about a year and kind of tweaked it, and then released it with my EP, my solo EP, which hopefully I'll be able to to do a new one here pretty soon. You know.
You have anything that you're working on right now?
Right now I'm working on some demos, and I'm going to try to turn that into an album. Maybe play a couple shows if I have time, you know. There's a lot of cool software out there, and I got a lot of friends that still play out, so I might be playing out. It's all in the works. If it happens, it happens. But I'm definitely going to try to release a new album, especially with instrumentals, because I've heard a lot of your fans want instrumentals. I've had a lot of emails about instrumentals and stuff, so I'm probably going to have just a basic instrumental album that people can download for free. I mean, that's the thing. That's what's been so kind. I know there's a lot of fans out there that of Coury's that have gone onto my site, and it's all free. Like, if you want it, just type in 0 on Bandcamp and you'll get it. But a lot of people have paid for it, which has really helped me out. So,
is there a particular reason you decided just to go for pay what you want?
Yeah, because I get a lot of music for free.
It's kind of your way of like giving back.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, everybody's at fault for it, and I'm like, look, you know, I play music because I want to play music. I want to hear music I want to hear. Like, I play what I want to hear, you know, and I love playing music still. I love making songs, and it's like, it's not something that I know I'm going to make money off of. If I get a little extra money, all it does is go towards buying new equipment.
Yeah, it's like the same way as, you know, like us with Patreon. Like, whoever, like, every extra little bit of money goes back into making the show better.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. That's where the money goes. So, you know, I've made a little bit, and it's helped me like buy a couple new synths and helped me with buying some chords and things like that. But, you know, it's definitely helped a lot. But I don't ever, imagine getting anything from it. You know, I just feel it's awesome that people are downloading it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's cool. It's cool. So, because I see when Coury's videos go up, I always see a spike in downloads and stuff, and it's neat. I'm like, oh, Coury made a new video, because then people go on there and download it. So I'm like, awesome.
I mean, when we're making the episodes, it is like, it's always the thing that we put in first, because it gets us like really excited to like edit the episode. It's funny because, you know, we always, you know, like do our little intro, and we have like the build up of the music, and then it comes in right with the intro. And that's the first thing we do, is we get that set in, because it gets us in the mindset to like edit the rest of the episode. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad I did that. I never expected being able to do that, but I'm glad.
And what's pretty cool about like having, I guess, like, you know, the version in our show is like an exclusive version. It's like you said, it's like less layered and stuff. And I like the fact that you never know, but in certain episodes we're able to like, we always have like a different part of the song over the ending credits. And sometimes we have like a longer ending segment, so we're able to like reveal additional parts of the song.
Okay.
Which is always kind of fun to do.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. When I first made it, anytime I make a song, it's just I lay out the bones, and I think you got the bones of it pretty early.
Yeah.
Of that song, you know.
Because like, I mean, that was 2 years ago, and really like the full final version of it only came out like 6 months. A year.
That was about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and you got it a year before that. So
yeah.
It was like 2 years before that, I believe. Yeah.
So is this what you do a lot of your playing on right here?
Right here, this was my this is what I used to gig around with here. This is a new synth I just got. It's not analog, but it's modeled after a Roland analog synth called the old Juno. And Junos are really awesome. But this is actually a digital version. This is my baby. Right here. This is a Tetra Dave Smith. This is completely analog, but it's a new analog. So like they fixed all the things from the 80s. And they made it more stable, so it doesn't shut down on you. And this thing produces awesome, beautiful synths, like sounds. And this is pretty common. This is a micro Korg XL. And then what I do is I MIDI it all through here. All MIDI does is like you got a little cord, and you hook it up all into, and when you play this guy, it controls all these other synths and can play all these. These are little boxes, and you can just MIDI these little guys here. But yeah, this is what I play with a lot. And then I have a lot of these little boxes like this guy here, because I honestly don't have much money. And an analog synth will a cheap one's about $1,000.
Yeah, and something like that size, you can just kind of
that's
sit in place and just do it.
And you can MIDI this in from this guy and play it on this keyboard, or you can just play it on this guy. And this thing's only $100. So you're getting the same sounds, but you're not getting the whole package.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just easier to work in small spaces with that kind of stuff. And like, I learned a lot of stuff. I lived in like New York City for about 7 years, and that's where I learned the most about a lot of my synths.
Right.
Because I played drums at first.
Right.
Like I was a percussionist. You were too.
Yeah.
You played
just for a little bit though. I mean, I think I stopped playing in my second year of college. When I moved away, I couldn't play anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was never very good in the first place, but it was...
I remember you played with my brother, didn't you?
Well, your brother was better than me pretty quick.
Was he?
Yeah.
Because he played in, Drastic or whatever that was called.
But
yeah, and I just picked up a lot of stuff from there, and I also play guitar and sing, and I'm all self-taught. So
you come from a musical. Well, your father at least plays piano.
Yeah, he's an awesome pianist, or he plays organ, like rock organ. He used to be in like bands like Deep Purple and The Doors. Like that's the kind of organ he plays.
Mm-hmm.
And I got into a lot more like droney stuff. Like I love The Cure.
Right.
Things like that, and I love like Joy Division and like how they use their synths. I love. What was the one that We Are Robots? What are they called?
Devo?
Not Devo.
Yeah.
They did Man Machine.
Kraftwerk.
Okay. Yeah, I love Kraftwerk. They're one of their first albums. Like their albums were awesome. And those were all analog things like that, the synths and stuff like that. Digital synths are cool. Like this is digital. Like I still do digital,
and but you pass them through analog devices.
Well, I do that, but I also like to layer digital and analog, because if you do all analog and you don't have the right compressors and you don't have thousands of dollars like Daft Punk does,
right,
it's all going to sound like blah and mushy. It's like that's why. With what I work with what I can. Like I have to master my own stuff, I have to EQ my own stuff, I have to record my own stuff. So everything I do on my site, I do. Because even when I was playing in the band in Early Attic, I was telling Coury earlier, like we lost so much money. Like we were good, we were okay.
Yeah.
Like people liked our stuff that liked that kind of music, but it's so hard to make it and make music without exposure, and it's so hard to get exposure and all that stuff. So. Some of the best bands I've ever heard are coming out right now, and yet, if you don't have the exposure, where are you going to go?
Right.
Because they don't play them on the radio.
I mean, you played with you played with some people in Buffalo with Early Attic. Like I know you played with Purity Ring.
Played with Purity Ring. They were awesome. They were super friendly. Played with Joywave. They're getting big. They're out of Rochester. What was that? We opened up for the Styx.
Oh, Styx? You mean like the 80s band?
Yeah, the 80s band. Like, we are sailing away. that band. Yeah. They were good. He was good. Yeah.
Did they contact you directly? Say, like, we really want you?
Oh, no. We just got on the bill, and we got on this big festival.
Oh, I see.
And it was really cool. Like, yeah, I'd still be playing with the band. All the guys are great. We all work together well. It's just we ran out of time.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm getting older and stuff like
and
that.
And you have a family.
Yeah, I got a family.
Much like myself. You know, your daughter's older than my daughter even.
Yeah, she's 7.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just looking for a job. So I just got out of college, going for education, teaching, stuff like that. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see my desk. I love steampunk and I love history.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
Cool little, I don't even know what that thing is.
This is a volt amp. It's a battery that you shocked people with. I think it's my grandpa's.
So what computer programs do you use to do your music in?
Pro Tools. My one friend that I played with for a while, she was awesome. She's in People at Parties now. Check their stuff out. If you like my stuff, you'll really like their stuff. People at Parties. They use a lot of analog, but she used Logic and I use Pro Tools. And they don't mesh well together. I learned off of Pro Tools when I was really young, and so I just stuck with it. And a lot of people learned later on Logic, so it goes back and forth. It goes back and forth, Logic to Pro Tools, but I'm just a Pro Tools guy. I did Adobe Audition for a while.
Yeah, I didn't care for it that much. I struggle with it at times, but I don't use it that much.
Yeah, and then a lot of things too with like You know, Apple's got a lot of cool stuff on there now too. Like GarageBand's awesome.
But you're primarily PC based, so it doesn't matter anyways.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I had it on a laptop. I've tried other things. Like when I go and record stuff, like sometimes I'll record like up in my barn, or like record like cool echo effects somewhere. So I need to bring it portable. So I have a little portable interface that I'll take places when I can, to record like unique things. Like I've done a lot of instrumental stuff. Like I'll record the rain and I'll record other weird kind of noises and stuff and try to tweak those. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right. You know, but it's fun to experiment with that kind of stuff. Pro Tools has been my thing. So
yeah. Well, all right.
I guess if anybody has any questions, just give old Coury shoot Coury a text, and if you want to know anything more about my musical instruments or anything like that, I'd be, you know, I'm totally down to share. I've had a couple emails about people want some demos or they want instrumental work or anything like that. My website is on there. My own personal website, I think, is on there too.
What is your personal website?
Well, it's on my Bandcamp. So if you go to my Bandcamp, it's Matt TT. So 3 T's.
Matthew McCheskey.
Yeah. Or Matt T M Productions.
Okay.
So Matt T M.
I will link it in this video.
Yeah, link it. I know. I gotta change it.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's a long one. But yeah, if you guys if you want instrumentals, if you want anything, like I'm here. I got a plethora of.
This
material.
is like something you've been thinking about for a long time. Is just kind of doing like. You know, like soundtrack kind of stuff.
Well, it's kind of odd that way, because when I went to New York City, that's what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Like, I started learning all these instruments, and I started playing in bands, and I wanted to do instrumentals, and I did do score work for a couple of indie films out there, but then I got into the whole band thing, and I started playing in bands more.
Right.
And then I just stopped thinking about it. But it's just like that, to me, that's the funnest thing to do, to record music and work on new sounds. And like tweak sounds and tweak synths, and it's so much fun. Like that's where I don't mind playing in bands and being in front of people, but I get kind of shy.
Yeah.
And it's so nerve-wracking.
I can definitely agree with that.
Well, see, because I was singing.
I know how that feels.
I was singing and I was playing synth at the same time, so I would like have to sync all my synths, make sure everybody was playing the right parts while I was singing, trying to keep myself on tune. You know, it's just like it was hell. Yeah, it wasn't enjoyable at all. The only thing that was enjoyable was like after the show, you know, get to sit back and just relax, talk to people, and hand out CDs. Like that was fun. Yeah. But it's so nerve-wracking being up there on stage.
So since your stuff is like primarily like is on a video game channel, like I know that like we have always played like a lot of games together. Like we've always talked about it. I mean, you pretty much just play, like, modern new games these days, right?
I do, although I did get back into, can't believe I forget its name. I liked Star Fox. We were playing that because we got the old SNES out. Mm-hmm. But what's the one where the guy gets transported to another world? It's like, looked really awesome when it came out. Like Outland or Outworld or... Well, that's probably like 50,000 game titles right there. Like games Outland.
Oh, you're thinking of Out of This World.
Out of This World.
Also known as Another World. In other countries it's called.
I started playing that again. That's awesome. Yeah. And the first Fallout I started playing again. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. But like old school games, no, I don't play too much anymore. No. Yeah. There's just so much to play now. Yeah. Like I'm addicted to Fallout and BioShock. Like those are my two games. Yeah. Yeah. Like those are like that's in XCOM. I love XCOM. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hundreds of hours on that one, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, thousands. Civ 5. Yeah. Addicted to all hell in that one. I get my zone on there, you know.
Well, all right. Thanks for just chatting with me about this.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime, and you'll probably be hearing some new material on the show.
Like I said, I don't think that the show would be... I mean, sometimes I said to try before, I don't know if we'd still be doing the show if we didn't have this song.
Oh, I don't know.
It's funny, though, because
you guys
it's something...
got awesome stuff on there.
But, I mean, I think that the feel of the show would be completely different if we had a different song.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad it was useful.
Yeah.
And I'm glad a lot of you guys liked it too. Like that's all I've ever wanted to do was make music that elicited some, emotion.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I hear so much stuff on the radio that I'm just like, does nothing for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I
know
always
that.
say. It's like I want to play music that I want to hear. You
Yeah.
know, and that's why I still play. I love doing it, but also, I make stuff like even when I run. It's awesome to listen to demos and get ideas, things like that. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, if anybody has anything they want me to send them, shoot me. I got a whole ton of stuff if you need it. So.
All right.
Thanks, Coury.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.